Hello and welcome to another remote edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. On today's program, we will chat with Captains Kyle and Amber Maynor from the Quincy Salvation Army about how they're responding to the coronavirus here in Quincy. First, though, let's check out the news for you today. There are now 82 cases of coronavirus here in Quincy, and there have been 6 deaths. So far, 20 people in Quincy have recovered, and there are about 100 under self-quarantine. There have been 48 coronavirus deaths in Massachusetts, and there are about 5,000 cases statewide now. There are 548 cases in Norfolk County. A man fell to his death from a Quincy apartment building yesterday in an apparent suicide. Police say the man fell from the roof of the 90 Quincy Shore Drive apartment building known as the Sea Winds Apartments just after noontime on Sunday. Police said they were notifying the man's family and were not releasing any more details. The Quincy VA clinic at the Mannett Community Health Center in North Quincy is switching over to a virtual care system to help limit the spread of coronavirus. Beginning Wednesday, only urgent conditions will be considered for face-to-face visits. Otherwise, doctors will be available for either a telephone or a video conference until further notice. VA clinics in Boston, Plymouth, Framingham, and Lowell are also moving to the system called Veteran Video Connect. The VA says the teleconferencing system is secure and confidential. Soon, Quincy Public Schools are expected to issue some information about ways that students can continue their learning online. State public education officials are formulating an online curriculum designed to keep younger students engaged in learning while helping older students advance their education. Right now, public schools in the state are scheduled to reopen on May 4th. The last day of classes, regardless of what happens, will be June 23rd in Quincy. Starting today, a 5th grab-and-go meal site is being added at the Clifford Marshall Elementary School here in Quincy. Meals and learning enrichment packets will be distributed weekdays from 11 a.m. to noon, and at both high schools, as well as the Snug Harbor and the Lincoln Hancock schools. Quincy police issuing a warning about a new scam involving the just-approved government stimulus package. Police say several people have reported receiving calls or emails asking for Social Security numbers and PayPal information from scammers, claiming that that information is needed in order for people to receive their checks. Police say the stimulus money will be coming automatically in about 3 weeks, and that any request for personal information for the government money is a scam. The MassHire South Shore Career Centers of Quincy and Plymouth's offices are closed. However, employees are all working from home and accessible by phone and email. The director of the Quincy Center, Ron Iacobucci, encourages anyone who needs to apply for unemployment to do so right away. He says the waiting periods have increased dramatically. Information is available at masshiresouthshorecc.com or by calling 617-745-4000. Quincy first responders being credited with helping to revive a woman who had become unresponsive in a vehicle. Officers responded to the scene on C Street last Thursday and found the woman's grandson performing chest compressions. Officer Donnelly took over CPR, and Officer Loikta successfully revived the woman using an automatic electronic defibrillator. Brewster Ambulance and Quincy firefighter crews assisted. The woman was taken to a local hospital. A reminder that a 24-hour coronavirus hotline has been established at the Quincy Health Department. People can call 617-376-1288 for the latest information, and also check the city's website, quincyma.gov. Additionally, here at Quincy Access Television, Channel 9, we're posting the latest Quincy coronavirus information around the clock. Curbside collection of trash and recycling in Quincy remains on a regular schedule, and through the end of April, yard waste will also be collected curbside on your regular pickup day. Quincy DPW urging residents not to flush disposable disinfecting wipes in order to prevent sewer backups. The DPW's rear yard on C Street is open Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 3 to accept yard waste, recyclables, electronics, appliances, and other permissible items, but the yard will be closed on Saturdays until further notice, and the yard will not accept household waste. A reminder, all city buildings in Quincy are closed to the public. However, staff can still be contacted by phone, email, mail, or a drop box outside of City Hall. Interfaith Social Services and Father Bill's and Mainspring homeless shelters say that they're in need of donations of food and funds in order to meet the growing demand for their food pantries and homeless services. In addition, Interfaith says it needs healthy volunteers to staff their food pantry. Father Bill's is hiring workers starting at $19 per hour. The American Red Cross putting out an urgent appeal for blood donations, which they say have plummeted since the coronavirus outbreak. Red Cross says procedures have been put in place to ensure safe blood donations. More information is available at redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. For the very latest coronavirus information here in Quincy, watch Quincy Access Television Channel 9. Go to QATV.org and quincyma.gov. Call the Quincy Health Department, 617-376-1272, or a 24-hour hotline, 617-376-1288. Coming up, we will chat with Captains Kyle and Amber Maynor of the Quincy Salvation Army. That's next.
We know that we're asking Americans to do a lot right now. So we're asking everyone to be selfless for others so that we can protect those who are most susceptible to this virus.
A question I often get asked is, why should young people care about the spread of coronavirus? Well, we know that people with underlying medical conditions over the age of 60 are at highest risk, but they've got to get it from somebody.
Social distancing is really physical separation of people.
It's what we refer to when we ask people to stay at least 6 feet apart.
Not going to bars, not going to restaurants, not going to theaters where there are a lot of people. It all just means physical separation so that you have a space between you and others who might actually be infected or infect you.
We all have a role to play in preventing person-to-person spread of this disease, which can be deadly for vulnerable groups. For more information on how you can social distance, please go to coronavirus.gov.
Captains Kyle and Amber Maynor of the Quincy Salvation Army are joining us to chat about how this coronavirus pandemic is impacting folks here in Quincy and what the Salvation Army is doing about it. So, Kyle and Amber, great to see you via video conference. Hopefully we can do it in person again real soon.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us. Thanks for letting us come and give updates of what's going on.
Absolutely. So let's start out, I guess, with a very basic question: is how is the Salvation Army here in Quincy responding to this? What is specifically happening on the ground here in the city?
Mm-hmm. Well, we are part of the South Shore Hunger Network, so we are working closely with the city to figure out the food needs. So we're trying to network and partner with the other food agencies, nonprofit and stuff, to just kind of meet the needs around us. So we have a conference call every Thursday, and just kind of keeping each other up to date. But right now, we're just solely focusing on food, of course. It's such a big need. So we just have been going to the food bank and getting thousands and thousands of pounds of food because we have seen an increase of our clientele in serving families. So typically, we've allowed people to come once a month is our normal food pantry allowance, but now in this circumstance, we're allowing people to come weekly, as we know people are out of groceries and kids are at home and things like that. So, that's our problem.
Yeah, basically just the food. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, we have noticed an increase in, the change of clients. Typically, the normal clients have stopped coming. I think the elderly are more scared to come out, or they're just more concerned that there's potential of, getting anything. So we've seen a lot of, families or like just different new people coming who are needing help. A couple of people are saying they're out of work now. So there's that growing need there as well. And then also with the food delivery, that's been picking up as well. Just people who are scared to go out, or have gone to the grocery store and they're not able to find anything. So since we can go to the food bank and pick up fresh stuff, we continue to do that and been giving like fresh milk and produce and stuff out to people as we deliver.
Logistically, let's let folks know, exactly where they go and when they go and how that process works to collect food.
So we're open Monday through Friday still, 9 to 11:30. So it is a little bit of a different, where you used to be able to come into our lobby. You can't do that any longer. We keep the front door locked just as a precaution for all of us. So you just come to the door. We have a sign-out sheet. So you just outside the building. So you just sign that. You can knock on the door. We're pretty active about paying attention to the front entrance. If not, you can also just call us, just to ring us, and then we'll be out there as soon as we can, just to greet you and just see what we can do. So if it's your first time, we would ask if you could bring just some kind of ID, just to see who you are, and any ID to show how many people are in the household, because you can't just come in and say, I've got 10 people in my household. You kind of have to prove it so that we can give you more food. It is different where it used to be a choice pantry, but now we just have to pre-package everything because we have to limit the interaction that we have with clients as much as possible. So some things have changed in quality in regards to that. But I mean, we still give out lots of food and big selection as much as we can.
Okay, and in terms of volunteers or staff in your headquarters, do you need help with that? Are you adequately staffed? What are you thinking?
Really, the Salvation Army has limited us to a skeleton crew. So really, it's just the social worker and the two of us at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So we really can't have volunteers because we have to limit as much, potential risk is possible. Mm-hmm. So we're really just the only ones packing and doing all the paperwork and delivering.
But we are taking donations. So if anyone wants to donate, whether it be food, we're more than welcome to take that, or also other supplies for children, such as coloring books, for kids to read while they're home, craft kits, things like that. So in our pantry right now, we have some totes of books. So we are giving out books as people come, age appropriate and stuff. So those are going in our food bags as well for families. So if anybody has things like that, just to kind of help parents, whether it be beach ball from the dollar store or something like that, just to kind of give the kids something to do during these days. So
yeah, and of course the school closure just was extended again until May the 4th, so that's going to become more critical as time goes on for sure. Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about how this situation has affected your Sunday worship and how that's proceeding now?
Well, right now we cannot congregate, so what the Salvation Army has been working on is territorial-wide and divisionally-wide. They've been making a live stream event. So Sunday morning at our typical normal service hours, they've been hosting and been providing one out of New York.
Yeah, so we are, it is kind of, sad to just be able to say, everything's closed other than the food pantry. We typically have kids programs during the week, and, we were up to about 40 kids and, now none. So it's like, we're trying to keep in contact with them and trying to meet needs still for those families as well, whether it be food or activities and things as well. Because they would come on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and, we have women's group and everything's closed. But we still are doing, we still are open, for people to call if they need a prayer request or, to just be able to offer even devotional material if people, want us to print anything for them. We're able to do that, but it's definitely different. We kind of feel like the world's kind of have a pause button,
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
Do you know, are you folks or the Salvation Army in general working with the medical field or first responders or assisting in any way when it comes to this?
Yeah, it just depends on the area where we're needed. There are some locations where they're just feeding like the support staff, so people who are doing the testing or first responders. Mm-hmm. Other locations, I think we're mostly just giving out food as people need it. Like what we typically do here, people come get the food pantry items and go home.
Sure.
So
Yeah, but I mean, if it escalates to the extent of other areas such as New York and stuff, if it comes like that here in Massachusetts, we are prepared. We do work closely with MEMA here, and so we would be firsthand to whether cook hot meals, snacks, whatever. So it's not to that point yet. It's just kind of meeting the needs of families and individuals for food right now. But we are prepared and geared up if that needs to happen in the future. So
Sure. What I've been hearing from other social service organizations, food pantries, is really monetary donations and food donations are the number one priorities right now, kind of in crisis mode right now. And it sounds like that's the same for you folks as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, when you're trying to meet, just an extra amount of needs, all at once, and like Kyle said, there's a lot of new people coming in. I mean, even college kids, they're no longer at college coming here and they have nothing, so it's like college kids are coming in, families, because one of the parents doesn't have a job now. And then the kids are at home and, so it's a lot of stress too. That's what we said, whether it be food, money, or even, if people want to give tangible supplies, such as like craft supplies or activity kits for kids, we'll make sure that those get out to them just to help kind of alleviate some stress too. Board games are also good if anyone wants to donate those kind of items that we'll give out to families as well. So.
Okay, and I've heard maybe gift cards might be useful. Is that true for you as well? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we can always give those out.
Yeah, because some people, they don't really know what they need to, at these times. And sometimes, food will help for a little bit, but they need toiletries or they need cleaning supplies or they need other things that, those gift cards will help with.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Who is kind of eligible to use your services? Do they have to show income eligibility or things of that nature?
No income. Mostly we help Quincy residents, but I mean, this is kind of an exception that if people are here, we'll just give out to whoever's here.
Okay. How is this impacting you folks personally? I know you have children yourselves and home. Yes.
Well, we have 5 kids, so I think...
four in school, so we're just kind of like...
Yep, so Amber has become the principal,
teacher, bus driver, cook,
Business director.
Yeah, as I said, you better remember me on Mother's Day, right? I did a good gift. But I kind of, it is, like I said, I think people can easily get stressed or depressed, so we're really trying to, give activities and resources for people, like even on our church website, our Facebook page, we talked about this is Spirit Week. So today is your favorite Disney character day. And so we're trying to do activities to kind of bring families together, let kids know we're still kind of, in this together. But it is hard. But, we just keep saying it, that we'll never experience this again. At least we hope, right?
Exactly.
Just to kind of treasure these days and, don't put too much pressure. Don't get too stressed on a schedule where it has to be exactly down to the minute. And just, enjoy these days. So when the kids are older, they look back and say, I remember when we played Monopoly 5 hours or, things like that. So it is different kind of pace for everybody. But I mean, we are enjoying the extra time with our family and hearing the kids laugh and, kind of just really get to know each other at a deeper level because, they're all together. They're forced to play with each other.
Yes. It's a shared experience, right? Yeah, I kind of related to my generation's blizzard of 78. It was, kind of the same idea where everybody was homebound for 2 weeks. Obviously, here we are, a much more serious situation, and we hope that it passes quickly. I'm sure you're offering prayers for those affected directly or indirectly as well.
Yeah. Yeah, one of our big things, if anybody's needs, prayer or a scripture to cling to, Philippians, 4, 6 and 7 says, don't be anxious about anything, but by prayer, offer your requests to God and just to be reminded that he'll give us peace, so I know a lot of times fear can cripple us really. And so in these moments, we just want to remember that, just give all of your requests to God, all your concerns, and, prayers will give us peace that nothing else can give us during these days. So,
Great. All right. Anything else that we're missing that you think is important right now?
Nope. Just, the importance of, showing kindness to one another, paying for somebody's coffee behind you and just really, kind of alleviating, showing human kindness and love, alleviating some stress and stuff. And, in this together, right, that all of us, need to do our part, so, yep.
We should let folks know you'd mentioned the phone number at 617-472-2345. You're located on Baxter Street in Quincy. For folks who might not know, there are new people coming to the city all the time, so they might not be aware. And web-wise, what's a good access way for folks to get a hold of you on the internet?
Probably easy is just to Google search Salvation Army Quincy.
Okay. Yeah, that's the best way, I think. Today's search engines are much more sophisticated and it'll take you right to it.
Yep.
Well, thank you both. Really appreciate it. And please feel free to reach out to us here at QATV if we can be of any further assistance to get information out. We're happy to do that. We're able to do that remotely pretty quickly, too. So please reach out.
All right,
Thank you,
so
Joe.
much.
You're all welcome. Be well.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Special thanks to Captains Kyle and Amber Maynor of the Quincy Salvation Army. Thank you to our crew working remotely from home, and thank you for watching. Friday, we'll catch up with Quincy Chamber of Commerce President Tim Cahill and learn about how Quincy businesses are dealing with the coronavirus on another remote edition of Currently in Quincy. Until then, please stay tuned to Quincy Access Television and our website, QATV.org, for the very latest on the coronavirus here in Quincy. From all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a very happy, healthy, and safe week.